connecting to the real nerds is so easy. You can go to our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can like us on Facebook. We have a Twitter account, @RealNerds. We also have Instagram. You can call us, 720-6nerds5. You want to email us? You can do that too, realnerds@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show.
Hi, my name is Paul Caroli, and I host a podcast called Changing Denver. It's a monthly show about our city's physical spaces, how we make them, and how they make us. But it's so much more than that. It's the conversations, ideas, and stories that define Denver's perpetual state of flux. Find more from our team at changingdenver.com and join the conversation on Twitter @ChangingDenver. Denver's changing. We can help.
Hello, everyone. I'm Giles.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Michelle.
And we're the Beyond the Trope podcast.
Every week, we delve into topics like pop culture, fiction writing, and other nerdy things.
We feature laid-back conversations, bad puns, and in-depth interviews with authors, comic creators, and more.
Find our show at beyondthetrope.com.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Palmiotti, and you're listening to Real Nerds Podcast. Now pay attention and stop playing with your dick.
Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Comic-Con 2018. I'm your host, Brad, and with me this week is...
Ryan!
Hey, Ryan, you look different.
I know. I lost like a shit ton of weight, but then I also gained it right back in my stomach.
Man, you must have eaten a lot of pizza for that to happen.
You know it, man. I love pizza.
It's so crazy that you're here today, because I totally thought that you were being investigated by the internal... what is it for police?
Oh, you mean
affairs?
internal affairs? Do you mean you think I'm a rat, a snitch? Or do you think that I'm being investigated?
No, I just think you're playing evidence, and you said you weren't going to be able to make it this week because you had to work late to destroy evidence.
Hey, man, as the great Denzel Washington said, King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Nice. Way to tie it back into movies.
Yeah.
And, of course, James is just visiting with family, so it's not as scandalous.
Yeah, no, of course not. Why would he be here?
And then Henry went to space, so
yeah,
he couldn't be here either. So it's just you and me, and it's going to be the worst episode ever. Oh, wait, where's Zach?
Hi, I'm here.
Oh, hey, Zach. Thanks for ascending above the table.
Oh, thank you.
What were you doing down there next to Ryan?
I was totally blowing him. I mean, you
wow.
know, he likes to pitch for, he likes to hit for both teams, man. I'm just saying. No, Ryan's not here today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was me doing. That was me doing a voice. See, like I'm very multi-talented.
That was so close to Ryan.
I mean, what can I say, man? Like I'm a man of many talents. You know, mostly blowing imaginary Ryan, but you know.
I mean, if you have to do like voiceovers for animation, like that will be your bread and butter. I haven't seen many cartoons that need that, but you would be the top of the list, guy.
There you go. I have a very unique set of skills that make me a danger to many people.
So what are we going to do on the worst episode of Real Nerds Podcast, which is inevitably what this is going to be?
Well, I believe we see a movie and then we podcast our experience to the world is what I've been led to believe.
Okay. Well, what segments do we have?
We have what's coming out on Blu-ray and DVD. We've got movie news. We've also got what we've been watching, and we also find out what's going around town.
Oh, hey, that's my cue.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot. Let's start with the drive-in.
Mm-hmm.
This week you can check out Dunkirk, followed by Annabelle Creation, followed by The Dark Tower, which I might try to do because I haven't seen two of those movies.
Okay, there you go. Right on.
So that's cool.
Dunkirk in a drive-in. I'm not sure how that'll be.
The cinematography is a little dark, so the drive-in isn't the brightest projection lately, so I don't know how that would work. But then again, there's a movie with dark in the title, The Dark Tower, so that can't be very bright. In the poster for Annabelle Creation, there's just black and then a doll's face. So it's going to be a very dim evening at the drive-in, I think.
With a lot of couples making out in their car. All right. That's right, because that's what you go to the drive-in to do, guys. You don't go to see the movie.
Yeah.
Except for Brad. He's just like,
I
love
go to watch
cinema. Next to
no
me.
girl will spend any time with me.
No.
Ever.
You can just dress up your hand, like put 2 eyeballs on it and like a piece of blonde felt and be like, "Oh, Brad, I love you."
Like South Park J-Lo. Oh, hey. We're getting a delivery.
That's
Hey,
my
those are
mom.
brownies.
Yep. My mom brought brownies.
Thank you.
And she just gave the thumbs up because she knows to be quiet.
You're welcome.
I don't
She
know when I'm
finally
going
made a
to get to eat
cameo.
them. I don't know when I'm going to find the time to eat them in the next hour, though.
You can take some home.
Just I'll probably eat them while you're doing your what we've been watching.
For sure.
Just smiling and nodding.
That's right. Jack Benny was a thing.
But-
And then, so yeah, that's a drive-in.
That's driving, and then yeah. What else did we?
What's Mayan?
Oh, the Esquire this week.
Yeah, or the Esquire.
Shoot.
Yeah.
I didn't look that up, so while I do look it up, I will just tell you. So last Sunday was the 48-hour screenings.
Which I had to miss, unfortunately.
Yeah, jerk.
Yeah, I know. But how did it go?
Way to let me down.
I heard something
yourself a
magical
friend.
happened that hadn't happened to you before at that screening, or
At
maybe
the
it had
screening?
before. I don't know.
No, the big news is that we won the audience favorite for our
Nice,
group.
excellent, probably well deserved. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Until I see the movie and endlessly shit on it.
Please do. No, it was. I went and saw all the films, so I can tell you that there's some very amazing competition ahead. But they haven't announced what the best of grouping is yet. But it's cool that we won the audience favorite because that's kind of something.
Wouldn't the audience favorite kind of give you a golden ticket in, or do they not even put that in consideration?
I don't know how they choose.
Okay.
That's obviously a secret. But I would say that in the 8 years I've been doing it, not to be braggy, but like I haven't seen an audience favorite not get into the best of.
Okay.
Or at least if they did, I didn't notice. So, but there's no guarantee because there was like 2 other films that kind of had the same concept as us in a way. So if you're programming an evening of like 12 of these of the best films, do you really want to repeat the same content?
I'm just saying, like,
Even if it's
good, buying them off is really like is how Hollywood works sometimes. I think
I don't know if it's buying off or just some favors.
sexual favors.
All right, what do we got here?
48, come here.
So this weekend was Spirited Away, which we didn't get to say because we did Film Explosion last week.
Right, yeah.
So next weekend is another half the room, half Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Right on. Get some audiences excited for the Disaster Artist coming this Christmas.
Yeah.
Actually, it's interesting. Did you drive by the Esquire at all last night at all?
I didn't, but I saw
You saw
a post for Brigsby Bear.
So the marquee on the outside of the Esquire for Spirited Away said none of these pigs are my parents.
Yeah.
and I was just like,
I don't remember that
why am
quote
I
from the
not
movie.
there?
Yeah. I've seen like when Spirited Away came out, like I saw it there or the Mayan like so many times. I'm like it's
Such a good movie.
It's not like a priority for me to like go there again. So I'm sure like in 10 years I'll give it a shot.
I saw it the week after it won Best Animated Feature at the Oscars. That was the only way we knew about it. So, because I wasn't like a big... I didn't really know who Studio Ghibli was until Spirited Away. I think it was more or less my thing.
Yeah, that and Princess Mononoke are like my 2 favorite ones.
It's a good one.
But since the room in Rocky Horror are kind of generic, I will prepare you for September 1st and 2nd. They're showing the 35th anniversary of Creepshow.
Woohoo!
And then, of course, my favorite, the following weekend, September 8th and 9th, which I'm going to try to cosplay for, is Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, which...
What was The Secret of the Ooze?
Spoiler alert, they really don't come to reveal a secret. It's
really
the thing they tell you in the
Shucks.
animated series opening that, the turtles are bummed out that they thought it was like more special than what it was, and that's kind of writing wise, that's kind of a disappointing way to go. Like promote like, yeah, there's gonna be a big secret, and then
But it's okay.
even the
'cause
turtles are like, wow, we're in this movie and we thought it was gonna be more important.
But isn't it okay because they dance with Vanilla Ice at one point? I'm just saying.
Why does everyone bring that up?
It's
so
I'm
cliche.
just saying, man. Like,
There's more to that movie than Vanilla Ice.
Come on, man. Future star of That's My Boy. I mean, come on, man. And all other Adam Sandler movies.
So that's what's happening around town, and if we're fortunate enough to go to the best of. That'll be September 7th at the Esquire. So
make sure you guys all be there, because I will be there for that one if you get in.
And thank you to all our friends who came out to, not Zach, who came out to watch Cardiganzaro and vote for us to win the audience. It's entirely possible that, because you get to vote for 3, we were everyone on our team voted for their first choice, and then we ended up the third choice on everyone else's.
That's how it balances out. But maybe me not being there was a stroke of luck. I'm just saying, when I come to places, things happen.
Like you might have farted in the audience, and then
somebody would just you know what? I like that Cardiganzaro until I smelled a nasty odor in the air, and I'm like, fuck that movie. This movie is somehow made nasty odors. I don't want to vote for it. But anyway, yeah, check out the best of 48 Hours if Brad is in it. If it's not, throw eggs at the 48-Hour Film Council.
Yeah, don't go. Who cares then? Just kidding. No, there's great stuff by Stranger Studios and Cinema Geeks and
Cook Street in it again?
Oh, Cook Street. They were in our group. And
because you guys teamed up. Uh-huh. So you guys teamed up?
No, they screened, in the lineup, their movie was the first one of our group.
Oh, okay.
A screening group. And then we were the last thing in the screening group.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
So... yeah, it was interesting. Theirs was so funny. I thought it was surprising to me that we won the audience favorite.
Well, there you go, another award under your belt, Brad. So
there's no actual award though. It's just it's more of a designation.
They don't even give you a cookie?
I don't think so. I guess I've never won it before, so maybe there is. But I've never seen a Facebook post of anyone saying here's my audience favorite award.
It should just be them sending you a cookie with an Oscar on it, in frosting. Oscar cookie.
So what's happening to the Alamo, Zach?
Oh wow. That is the one thing I forgot to do.
Oh, man, so weak.
I know. I'm terrible.
What do you have up?
I have news. So if we want to go ahead and do news first.
Can you multitask and read the news and also look up the Draft House?
I think
Or do you want me to look up the Draft House?
Why don't you look up the Draft House, and I'll do the news.
It's real news!
So after we filmed Filmsplosion, the world decided to set itself on fire. And in the midst, we lost 2 fabulous entertainers. First was Dick Gregory, comedian and social activist. His comedy, along with Lenny Bruce, essentially kind of broke ground in a massive way for the stand-up scene that we know today. He was he didn't mince words, so and he was very active in the civil rights movement in the 60s. So I guess it's strange. He kind of fell off a map a little bit, but he had weird ties to conspiracy theories in terms of he kind of believes the same stuff that Charlie Sheen believed. I guess is kind of more or less in regards to 9/11. So it's interesting the way he kind of lived out his final years. But he was a very funny man. Wrote some great books and whatnot. Had great comedy specials. He will be missed. The bigger news though came this morning at freaking 11 a.m. when we found out that comedic legend Jerry Lewis passed away at the age of 91. Before I say what I want to say, because I have a very specific thing to say about this, is what's your experience with Jerry Lewis in terms of did you ever watch a film of his at all, or
no? The clips I did see, it just seemed like a lot of mugging for the camera. That's his comedy style.
It's not that at all. It seems like that. So, first off the bat, it seems like that when you're watching this stuff, because Jerry Lewis started off in vaudeville, moved into nightclubs when he partnered up with Dean Martin back in 1947 at the Copacabana, and they ended up getting offers for radio, television, and the movies and whatnot. And the style in that day, more or less, was kind of hamming it up for the camera. That's what comedy was. Comedy didn't transition into where it kind of mixes the two until The Graduate comes out in 1967. So for a large period of time, Martin and Lewis, and then eventually just Jerry Lewis, was the ticket in comedy. that was the person you wanted to go to get laughs. Jerry also, he's a very polarizing figure in entertainment history, because there was a lot of great things he did, such as his work with the muscular dystrophy telethon, his love for the country of France. There are a lot of people who obviously, though, have a different point of view of Jerry. I know you've listened to Ralph Garman talk about it before on Hollywood Babylon, but that's like one side of it. I think he's
also doing a character, a caricature of him.
Yeah. So but his Jerry was he didn't mince words. He was a very what you see was what you got. He stuck by his act for years. And so, it's kind of hard when you hear a bad story about a celebrity like that to, kind of compress it in your head with all the other knowledge of, all the good things he did. So it's like the way Ryan feels about Woody Allen or Polanski is, they did all this stuff, and then there's all this other stuff that you hear that kind of, taints the memory to a degree. And I've had that with Jerry Lewis on and off over the past couple of years. But I will say, though, that, it's not anything. He didn't rape a child or anything. I'm you know what I'm saying? But 6 years ago when I sat down to write Twombly, I had to do a lot of research on radio that I never had done before in my life, and reading all the obits and reading all the personalities. About 6 years ago, I realized that Jerry was essentially the last radio figure we had, and that when he went, that's when old-time radio kind of passes on into the mythos. So, to get the news this morning was, jarring. I didn't cry, necessarily, because I do spend a lot of time with this subject. And so, to hear it was jarring in a way, I was very silent. And I just, I pulled up some clips. I watched some clips again of him and Martin at the Copacabana and stuff from Nutty Professor, The Bellboy, and At War with the Army, which is my favorite that he did with Dean Martin. But the radio show that they did only lasted 4 years, and it was between 1949 and 1953, and that's literally the last attempt to make this medium still relevant before television essentially just swallows it completely. Because then more or less 10 years later, it's over. Radio becomes a different thing for a different purpose. And the last real radio show we have within that tradition is Prairie Home Companion, so which is still going strong, thankfully, on NPR. But Lewis, he did a lot of things for comedy. He did a lot of things for filmmaking too. He is the inventor of Video Assist, the first man to have playback on set in a professional capacity. He developed that. He helped develop that technology. So when we obviously we record on our on our DSLR cameras, our digital cameras. Playback's kind of a given, but imagine you're having to work with film, and then you're kind of strapping that digital or the video camera, the videotape camera that you have to get anything close to Video Assist, and then you develop into playback, and then you get all those scenes on BTS footage where people are looking at the footage. Jerry created that, so he was a technological innovator as well as a comedic force. So he will definitely be missed. He was 91.
He actually did the science, or did he tell the people, "Hey, here's an idea, now make
he
it happen"?
Worked with the technicians to develop how it was practical.
He's like Lucas, hey, I
yeah,
want these ships to look realistic.
Yeah, how do we get
there?
The innovator, I guess, is what you would call it. The guy who says, "I have an idea," the idea man.
I want to see my goofy face before it gets to the editing room. So
that's pretty much what the thing was. Is because he was more often than not directing himself.
Yeah.
So and
make it happen. Nice lady,
lady. And actually, I read. I didn't realize he was on The Simpsons. That was one of his last acting gigs in 2003. He played Professor Frank's father, who liked to eat brains. So it's really funny. So yeah, Jerry Lewis, 91, terrible, sad news. He will be missed. The last bridge to old Hollywood, for the most part, is gone, because, it's not really a debatable question in my eyes. So it's on you to judge me on the internet boards, guys. Go to realnerdspodcast.com and rant.
What else is happening?
What else is happening? Curb Your Enthusiasm got a teaser for season 9, which I guess it's been off the air for a while. Like, there's a large hiatus. But I saw the preview. It looks funny as fuck. Larry David, still kicking it, still doing his thing, not giving a shit. So yeah, if you're a fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm, if you're a fan of Larry David kind of complaining about things, then you shall not be disappointed. On the business side of film, so MoviePass, which is a service that buys your tickets for you via the credit card companies, dropped its annual or its monthly price, I guess, to $9.95, and essentially, like, you don't have to, like, you could only go to one movie a year and still cover your costs, as opposed to getting a bulk of films. So it's like the opposite of the Disney Movie Club. But AMC is not happy about it, and they earlier in the week they were working with their legal team to figure out how they could avoid using MoviePass, how to decline MoviePass, and it was brought up about a couple days ago, I guess, via Slash Film, that in order for them to stop doing that or to ban MoviePass, they may have to cut ties with MasterCard. So, like, if they stop accepting MasterCards, that's how they can get around the whole issue with MoviePass.
But that would be stupid for AMC to do, because then
I agreed. Like,
they still have to sell movies.
And the thing is that, like, AMC, this isn't the first time they've tried to shoot themselves in the foot, and, like, somehow, like, I mean, remember the whole texting thing where they were like, we're going to allow texting in the movies. I'm like, no, good luck with that. See how that works. And, of course, they retract it almost immediately. So this one might take a little longer because it does deal directly with revenue. So we'll see what happens. It looks like we're getting an Obi-Wan Kenobi Star Wars spinoff, according to the interwebs. It seems like Stephen Daldry is in early talks to direct. He was the director of The Hours and Billy Elliot. If they bring back Ewan, I'm fine with that. I like Ewan. He was like one of the stronger elements of those prequels.
Yeah.
So, and he'll probably have better dialogue this time around.
But I think that, like, I imagine it's going to be a young Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, so...
But we got that. It was called Phantom Menace.
Right.
Didn't you see him without a beard, wearing a ponytail? Braided ponytail?
So, it, like, Ewan McGregor's probably, like, in his late 40s right now?
Don't ruin my dream, Brad.
Yeah, I just don't know where else to go with that character, but I guess we'll find out.
Maybe it's about the time between...
Where he's just sitting on Tatooine talking to nobody.
Yeah, dude. It could be an awesome one-man show.
Just watch Obi-Wan Kenobi, middle around the house.
Star Wars, as you've never seen it before. Super fucking boring.
He's just doing, like, Jedi mind tricks, like moving stuff around the room.
It's literally like freaking like pet knobs and broomsticks are like a fucking Disney movie, like bibbity bobbity boo.
Like, God, 15 years so I have to go back and find that kid I dropped off,
and I gotta make sure I don't remember owning a droid that could do amazing things. I'm just saying, guys, there's plot holes in every one of these movies. Doesn't matter which one, good or bad. So this isn't exactly news, but I thought it was funny because we do discuss horror films a lot on this podcast. Child's Play creator Don Mancini said he has an idea of how to have Chucky meet Freddy Krueger.
Okay. They made Jason and Freddy in the same movie, so why not Chucky and Freddy? Did
you read what his idea was?
No.
I'm going to read it for you. I've talked about this a lot over the years, and it's actually an idea I think is cool and doable. It's just it would require a lot of legal red tape. My idea for the movie is to do it as a horror movie version of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. It's called Child's Play on Elm Street. Chucky ends up in a bedroom of a house on Elm Street, and Freddy meets him there, and they're like fans of each other. So they have this rapport, but then they realize Elm Street isn't big enough for the two of them. It can only contain one killer.
It sounds like Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah. I also am not sure if I like the idea of there being one scene where Brad Dourif and possibly Robert Englund like fanboying over each other. Like that sounds like that's when meta goes way too far.
Like, oh my God, Chucky, you're so cool. I know, right? You killed so many people. I forget what their voices sound like. All right. What else?
So Apple is in talks with studios to do $50 movie rentals for films 3 weeks after they've been released in theaters. So basically, something that's been tried and has not worked yet.
Companies keep trying to kill the theater industry. I don't like that.
I know. It's really not. It's not something you should do, guys, because despite what Netflix is telling you, it's still fun to go to the movie theater. Just saying.
I don't invite my friends over, sit in my house or my apartment, and watch, what comes out next week. What does come out next week?
Nothing, and we'll have to talk about that after the show.
Great.
Because I looked at the schedule. Super Troopers 2 has a very appropriate release date, 4/20 of next year. And I guess they've been working on it for a while. They made $2.2 million in their Kickstarter within the first week, and then they got I guess I don't know if Fox Searchlight matched it or something. I'm not sure what it was.
Didn't Kayvon
and Andy Jewett
local
for Sexpot Comedy at sexpotcomedy.com, guys.
If you live in Denver, those two guys have a little comedy empire going.
Yeah.
Comedy/pizza empire.
I don't know exactly how they're involved though, so
I think they're producers.
Okay, that's cool. So but I like the first Super Troopers enough. I know it's got a big following. So, yeah.
Not one of my favorites, but
I mean, my favorite line still is to this day of hey, what's that place with the bright stuff and the shitty stuff on the wall? You mean Shenanigans? And they just start hitting them. It's a funny moment, guys.
Yeah, hilarious. Okay, what else?
Chris Columbus said he has an idea for Gremlins 3, but it might involve killing Gizmo.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'll get the kids excited.
His basic quote on it was if you think about it, Gizmo's been responsible for a lot of bad shit happening, so maybe we need to pose the moral dilemma.
Is it Gizmo's fault that the humans keep putting water on him or feeding him after midnight?
That's the thing he also brought up, which is just that would bring into the moral dilemma of well, technically it's not his fault, but maybe they
should explain that after midnight is always after midnight, so no matter when you feed him, it's after midnight.
Yeah. Well, it's after. That's the whole. It's 5 o'clock somewhere logic, isn't it?
Yep. If you feed him at 1 a.m., that's after midnight. If you feed him at 6 p.m., that was after midnight from the previous day.
Oh my God.
The only time it's not after midnight is never. Because even 11:59 p.m. is still after midnight.
I love it.
Unless they explain, there's a buffer of 5 hours after midnight that you shouldn't feed him in.
I'm just saying, Chris Columbus, call Brad Haig. He will write Gremlins 3 for you.
Yeah, you just need to clarify some of the rules in the world building.
Yeah. Well, I think Chris Columbus is writing it, so then you would get a consulting credit or something.
Yeah.
You'd be the guy he turns to and goes will this work for people of your age? And you'll be like, yes or no.
Yeah, he really cares about what 35-year-olds think.
He's I've got Harry Potter. He's I've got Harry Potter money. Fuck you.
Yeah, I don't have to do shit anymore.
Yeah, I'm just doing this for kicks, man. If I want to kill Gizmo, I'll kill Gizmo.
Don't kill Gizmo.
Please don't. And then this is the last piece of news. More so for me. So Son of Shaft is happening, guys. Directed by somebody I'm not excited about, but they're going to bring back Sam Jackson and Richard Roundtree for this third or this new installment.
No Christian Bale?
Why do you need Gravel Throat when you've got Richard Roundtree, Samuel Jackson, and the boring guy from Independence Day Resurgence? Fuck, how's he going to be charismatic?
Who's the boring guy?
Will Smith's son in Independence Day Resurgence.
Oh.
The guy you barely remember right now. And
there's a lot of people I don't remember from that movie.
Except for Jeff Goldblum. But yeah, it's being directed by Tim Story, and Tim Story he's a serviceable director. He's not a bad guy.
If you like Fantastic Four and its sequel.
I mean, if you like he did a lot of Kevin Hart comedies. He's done some other stuff. But yeah, they say it's going to be more or less an action comedy. It's going to go down the 21 Jump Street route, which I don't know, especially nowadays with what we're dealing with, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I know it worked so well for Baywatch.
That's more or less especially with what Shaft is supposed to represent. That's probably not the smartest move because that's trivializing everything that series was built upon. Like even the remake with Sam Jackson respects its source material, more or less. I mean, it's a showcase for Sam Jackson, but still, like it respects the character. So I don't know if this is the smartest choice, but maybe a trailer will convince me. I don't know. Or maybe they can boot Tim's story and get me to direct it. I'm just saying. I've got some ideas. And so
is that for news?
What?
Is that it for news?
That is it for news.
Great. That was all really boring and depressing.
I tried my best.
And my phone's dying, so let's get to the what's happening at the Alamo.
Okay, what is happening at the Alamo?
Hello.
Hi, I'm Kevin Smith.
Hi, I'm Leonard Maltin.
Hi, I'm Mark Hamill.
Hi, I'm Elijah Wood.
This is Seth Rogen.
I'm Christopher Mintz-Plasse.
I'm Ron Starr.
Welcome to the Alamo Draft House.
I didn't mean it to sound derogatory. I love the Alamo.
We're also like 30 minutes into this episode already, so let's speed it up. All right. Film Club this week, Alamo Film Club. They're watching Effects, which is like a Tom Savini movie.
It's a film about special effects artists.
Yeah.
In a horror setting.
So that's Monday at 7:30 p.m. Tuesday. Yeah, it's all Littleton, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Stan Lee tribute at 7 p.m. called Extraordinary. I'm guessing it's a documentary.
Cool. I like Stan Lee.
That. And there's a Young Guns beer and tequila dinner at 7:30.
That actually sounds like fun.
Fun guns. There's some movie called A Life in Waves that looks like an indie film, but it's like it's a one-night showing.
It should be a surf documentary. I'm just saying. A Life in Waves.
It looks like an M. No, like a. I don't know. The poster's cool. It's like multicolored and there's like a black and white face.
Cool.
It's like an album cover. Let's see what's going on for Thursday. Nothing special. And yeah, let's go take a look at
Sloan's Lake.
Come on, phone.
Dead air, folks. You can't get enough of it here on the
Looks like there's a movie called Step at 9 o'clock.
Oh, that has nothing to do with going up as well?
Nope.
Damn.
And every week you can enjoy Geeks Who Drink on... Oh. Yeah, Geeks Who Drink at the Barfly Bar. Test your trivia knowledge.
There you go.
By playing Geeks Who Drink.
So it's a weekly thing for them now,
It's a weekly thing, yep.
Well, their bar's probably bigger than the Glass Half Empty at the Littleton one. So.
Probably. You've been there.
I haven't been to Sloan's Lake yet, no.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I need to go, apparently.
On Tuesday, Barfly also has Soundtrack Trivia Tuesdays with Brett Saunders.
Ooh,
so
shit.
I guess it's a music-only thing.
That would be fun.
There's also Girly Night, and they're showing Reality Bites at 8 p.m. And then there's a Hot Fuzz movie party at 7 p.m.
Ah! Oh, my God. Want
Awesome.
anything from the shop, Brad?
Seeking a Friend for the End of the World is playing.
I like that film.
7:15 on Wednesday.
Sad ending.
Sloan's Lake.
Shouldn't say sad. More like melancholy. Or like...
Oh, sweet. Well,
bittersweet.
First, there's American Valhalla, which is... I can't really see the poster very well, but it looks like two dudes with guns. Can't tell if it's old or new. Then there's Drag Queen Bingo. Free admission, 7 o'clock. And then, they're screening Brigsby Bear. Thursday. On Thursday.
Brigsby Bear, the Kyle Mooney sensation that's sweeping the indie circuit. Got Mark Hamill in it, too.
And then Friday, the Barfly has a dog adoption with Max Fund, a screening of Best in Show.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's actually a really cool idea.
And then something called Happy Hour Flow with like a poster of people doing yoga. I don't know what that is.
So, it's beer yoga.
So that's what's happening at the Alamo this week.
Just call it beer yoga, guys. I'm just saying.
What's coming out on Blu-ray?
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
Zach. Obviously, the biggest release of the week is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. You can get that in multiple formats, whether it's 4K, Blu-ray, Steelbook, DVD, Betamax, Laserdisc, all those things. There's also some other stuff. Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 2 is coming out on Blu-ray, along with The Walking Dead 7th season. Cover is all Negan all the time, guys.
Man. Ryan's bank account is strapped this week.
Supergirl, the complete 2nd season. So if you're into Supergirl, check that out. Got a lot of Criterion and a lot of Arrow and American Genre Film Society stuff. So
let's get through them fast.
So Effects, that film you were talking about at the Alamo. If you can't make it to that Alamo screening, no worries. You can pick it up on Blu-ray, courtesy of the AGFA.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was coincidental. The Slayer from Arrow. It is a nightmare, or is it? Exactly. And
watch it and find out.
Yeah, exactly. Sid and Nancy from the Criterion Collection. Great film by Alex Cox. I would definitely recommend checking it out. What? God damn it. La Poison from the Criterion Collection as well. Whale Rider on Shout Select. Whale Rider is a good movie. You might want to check that out. Am I really that? Yeah, okay. I suck. I'm sorry. And then Barton Fink, Coen Brothers, one of their first really out there films will be getting I think it's a Kino Lorber or one of those like specialty companies is putting it out. I don't think it's Scream or Shout, so it wouldn't be Scream because Barton Fink's not a horror movie.
I've seen Kino Lorber putting out like a lot of interesting stuff.
Oh yeah,
so
they've got they're
up in the game.
They put out fucking Good, Bad, and the Ugly in a really nice 4K restoration. So
and No Retreat, No Surrender.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So just saying, guys, if you want to check out some films that the studios are too afraid to put out in crazy cool collector sets, that's the way to go. And it looks like that's pretty much it. There is one interesting title that I did see. Zombies Have Fallen. So I don't know what it looks like, or like what the plot is, but it essentially looks like the poster for London Has Fallen, but with zombies. So zombies invade the White House? I don't know. I guess we'll find out eventually. So, but anyway, that's Blu-rays.
All right, my phone's dying, so ask me what I've been watching.
Brad, what have you been watching this week?
So, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Thanks, Zach. Thanks for asking. All right, so this is actually what I've been watching for like the past 3 weeks because of Film Explosion.
Fuck.
Yeah, strap in. So for a while now, I've forgotten to tell everyone I've been watching the Castlevania animated series on Netflix.
Oh, really?
It's like 4 episodes, and it's so slow. Like, so little happens in those 4 episodes.
What is Castlevania, for those who might not know? Like, briefly.
Well, it's based on a video game.
Okay.
That started as early as the Nintendo Entertainment System. It's had many, many sequels.
Okay.
On different platforms since then. So this is like an anime style animation show.
Yeah.
And it's really just about Dracula meets this woman who's all about science.
Mm-hmm.
And the townspeople brand her as a heretic and then burn her at the stake. And so Dracula gets super pissed off, as he should, because the church is a bunch of assholes. And so he unleashes like a curse. Like they have 1 year to apologize to him, and the church is too proud to do that.
Because they're the church.
Because they want to squash science. And so a year later, Dracula's like, hey, I didn't get that apology, so here's a curse. And like, so all the towns are overrun with demons. And one of in the lineage of Belmonts, you know, he's like the wandering hero who is super badass, but he also spends his time just getting drunk. So half the time he's, out of it, and other times he's super awesome with a whip.
Kind of like me. No.
Yeah,
no.
Exactly like that. So yeah, but that's the show. Is just the church being a bunch of dicks and trying to cover up all the shitty things they did. And then I think it's Trevor Belmont, because I think it was Simon Belmont in one of the games. I'm not entirely familiar with the games, but I think it's Trevor is the new guy in the show. So, he's like the drunken master.
Okay, cool.
So, and then he gets hired to like save some girl. But it's weird because I think it's only 4. It was only 4 episodes, and then it just didn't finish. Like all the stuff that was set up didn't go anywhere. Like he just saves the girl in one episode or 2 episodes, and then it's like, oh, that's a really short season.
Not as satisfying as you would have hoped.
Well, there's just so much other stuff to like. They don't defeat Dracula. They don't stop the church. Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
I rewatched Masterminds, which is funnier than when I fell asleep watching in the theater. So, but it's still pretty kind of dopey.
I like Jared Hess. I think he's.
Oh yeah.
I think he's a very funny guy.
That's why I've been entertained watching in the first place.
I know his movies more or less like they're not hit. I don't know if they're hit and miss so much as like they're extremely quirky.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Well, I like that, but this one it's also kind of based on a true story, so he doesn't have full liberty to do whatever.
Right.
But there's stuff like when he's wearing the like cat contacts and has a long hair disguise. It's like super creepy.
I love the whole thing with his assassin, who's played by what's his butt?
Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, that's the part I didn't see in the theater.
Their whole like shtick is hilarious in that movie. But
yeah.
And Owen Wilson's kind of funny in it, but the rest of it is like it's definitely all over the place.
Just kind of them being weird and quirky.
Yeah.
I also rewatched The Founder, which is great.
Yeah.
We already talked about it earlier this year. Don't Think Twice. I watched again. That's a good watch.
Mm-hmm.
About improv and friendship.
And Keegan-Michael Key.
Yes.
It's not about
just him.
It's not just
all about just him. Yeah, and then I watched. Let's see. I should have done this in order. I watched the next Wet Hot American Summer, the Wet Hot 10 Years Later.
Did you watch the whole thing? Or?
I did.
Okay, cool. How'd you like it?
Not as much as the previous incarnation, because
the first day at camp one.
The first day at camp, yeah. I haven't seen the first movie, so
you've never seen the movie?
Yeah.
Oh shit, the movie's amazing.
So I'm doing a lot of backtracking, obviously, in my head, but like given the promise of the 90s, they really don't like touch on the 90s too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the whole George Bush and Reagan like missile plot. Like it's funny when they try to explain away like it was all this clever ruse.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's funny, but just I'd rather just watch a movie about them being funny at camp rather than like the whole government stuff. So I also rewatched Inner Space, which I think I said last week.
Yep, and you described it pretty thoroughly.
Yeah.
I like Inner Space. It's fun.
I watched a indie movie called Girl Asleep, which is like an Australian Wes Anderson movie. Because, it's not as symmetrical as what he did, but the production design and the characters are very, very similar to that. But it's about a girl who is like coming of age, and she's kind of an outcast, and she has a friend who's like this boy who's also an outcast, but she is dealing with the popular girls, and then her parents like force her to have a birthday party that she doesn't want to have.
Mm.
And then it turns into like what's his name? Not Spike Jonze, but Michel Gondry.
Oh.
So she like gets knocked out or something, and then she deals with all the problems she has in this dream that she's having. And it's just the dark forest, and then all the people in her life are reimagined as these weird characters, and then she's kind of like going through the forest and like interacting with them.
Sounds like It's a Wonderful Life meets Pan's Labyrinth.
Or Where the Wild Things Are.
That's true, yeah.
So, yeah, it was all right. Wasn't like a story I was super into, but the real standout is the shot composition and then the costumes and photography. So there's that. And the second to last, I watched Ingrid Goes West.
Oh, really?
Aubrey Plaza Instagram movie.
So I haven't seen it yet, and I've heard that this movie is one big gigantic spoiler for the most part. So without giving anything away to our audience, what can you tell me, like in terms of like how you reacted to it?
I don't think there is anything to give away because the trailer is pretty straightforward. I know when I saw it at the film club, some people thought that it advertised a movie that it wasn't. But
it's supposed to be a stalker movie, right?
A stalker. Well, people thought it was more of like a haha super funny comedy. But I figured it was a stalker movie that had comedic elements, and that's what I got.
Okay.
So if you just want to watch Aubrey Plaza hilariously track down Elizabeth Olsen and try to be her friend for an hour and a half, and the consequences of that, then this is the movie for you.
Okay. Awesome.
So
I heard O'Shea Jackson's really good in it, too.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is.
Like this big old Batman Forever joke throughout the movie is what I heard.
The only problem is, like, I can't really get into any of the characters because they all have...
Oh.
Like, even Aubrey Plaza, her just obsession with Instagram, and Elizabeth Olsen is just so unappealing. And the way she goes about trying to befriend her, you're just like, I hope you get found out that you're a fraud.
Pretty much extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, for the most part.
And then Elizabeth Olsen and her boyfriend, or her husband, and then maybe O'Shea Jackson is like the only... But the fact that he hangs around Aubrey Plaza's character and not like so much makes like, yeah, he deserves what he gets at the end. Like, he should know better. So yeah, it's just kind of all around. Everyone's kind of meh as a character.
Shitty people in the motion picture.
Well, yeah, it's just like it goes like into great detail, showing like how using Instagram, like obsessing over someone's life through Instagram. You know, you're not seeing their entire personality. Like Elizabeth Olsen's has pictures of all these great things. Like the food she eats is amazing, and she goes to all these exotic places, and that's great. But when you actually, get to know her and how like shallow she really is, that's what Instagram doesn't tell you.
Yeah.
So,
except for mine, my Instagram tells you not only how awesome I am, but also how
what
lame
movies
I
you
am.
just saw,
Yeah,
and what the tickets look like.
Yeah, the tickets look like exactly. I'm very straightforward. I don't fuck around. I don't really like using any of it.
Yeah, and then the last thing I saw, which I really wish the other guys were here, but I'll take you because this is important to you too.
Okay.
I saw Zodiac.
For the first time?
For the first time.
Alrighty, now we're talking.
And sorry, meh.
Fuck you.
I'm not kidding. Like,
in 1,000 ways, fuck you.
I expected, like, the way you guys made it seem, I expected the greatest movie ever, and then it starts out awesome. Like, I love when it cuts into scenes of the Zodiac killer actually killing the people.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's a good, like, hour of the movie after that where it's just the Hulk and Iron Man and Bubble Boy. Or Donnie Darko.
No,
the Hulk, Iron Man, and Donnie Darko.
Keep it Bubble Boy, please.
No, I'm going to do Donnie Darko.
Okay, fine.
They're just kind of like going back and forth like, hey, I've got this lead. All right, go check it out. No, I can't go check it out. Like, but if I wanted to check it out, I would do this for like a good hour of it.
Do you know what the movie's about, Brad?
It's about the Zodiac killer?
It's about obsession. And it's about misinformation, and it is ultimately about like consummation of consuming of your life. That film like has so many fucking layers. Like did you watch the one on Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay, so
is it not the director's cut one?
It's not the director's cut. So the director's cut, I will tell you right now, if you did not like this cut, you're probably not going to like the director's cut because it delves even more into those layers. I'm
into the mystery of actually trying to track down this guy. Like, yeah. I don't want to see an hour of like, oh, these guys are really into this mystery.
Well, this is like the both the positive and the negative of Zodiac. I've always thought is that on the one hand, what Fincher does to create suspense where there is no suspense, especially in my eyes, it's one is through the mysterious driver and the woman with the baby, because it turns out that couldn't have been the Zodiac himself, because it's just the timelines don't work out. But the other one is when Brokeback Mountain goes to Roger Rabbit's house, and because there's a lead involving movie posters. And there's a brief moment where you think Charles Fleischer, Roger Rabbit, you think Charles Fleischer might be the Zodiac, and there's just an awkward, uncomfortable moment in his
the way it's portrayed,
basement
it
cellar.
seems like he should be. Like, it's so on the nose.
But again,
creepy.
so is Arthur Lee Allen. But then everything points to that couldn't be it, and then even the ending still says it's probably Arthur Lee Allen.
Yeah,
like,
that's frustrating too. Is like
the thing is that unfortunately, like the reality of this situation, because like I'll talk a lot more about it on the 2007 film Explosion, but this film took 3 viewings before I declared it the masterpiece I declared it. Like, it took me a long time to accept it, because when you research the case, when you read the books by Grace Smith, and when you kind of like, you don't have to dig as deep as he did, but you dig enough to know that there really is, unless DNA somehow points to someone directly, this mystery will never be solved. It's literally a Jack the Ripper, where you can theorize all you want. And it more or less is like, it's in the same vein of Summer of Sam, which is a Spike Lee movie where it's about the Son of Sam murders, but it's told from the perspective of people outside of the killings, like as far removed as you can get from it. The paranoia that surrounds San Francisco at that time is like fucking palpable, and then halfway through the movie to see it kind of go away, but it's somehow scarred and affected these particular people around that incident. That's where the drama lies, in my opinion. But I do see from your point of view how it could be a meh on Fincher, you know?
Like, you know, there's that stretch where they jump ahead, like, I don't know, 5 or 10 years because he doesn't make any calls.
Right.
Like, it should just ended before that, because, like, after that, it's just, you know, Donnie Darko going to the Hulk and saying, like, hey, I have this thing you might want to follow, and then the Hulk says, like, I can't, but, you know, if you want to pursue it, here's what you should do. And then, like, none of that really leads to anything, except for just showing that how obsessed they are.
It leads to...
and then everyone else, like, falling apart, like...
There's more or less the lead of, like, Arthur Lee Allen. Like, in Grace Smith's mind, it's always going to be Arthur Lee Allen because of what he believes and based off of what he's researched. And, like, the more or less the payoff of that isn't necessarily the final scene. It's more when he goes to the hardware store that Lee's working in at the time in, I think, the late 70s, early 80s. And he just stares at him for a little bit and then just kind of walks away. The last scene, though, in the movie is my second favorite moment in the film, because it's more or less the final line essentially is the point of the film, which is like, no one knows shit. Like, it's all speculation, because of how mismanaged the investigation was. That's a big, like, string throughout this entire film. So, and it playing to Hurdy-Gurdy Man, which is more or less a very haunting way to kind of splice it together, is why I love it. But anyway, because I also watched it this week, so I'm preparing for all the different film explosions that we've got to do.
That's right. That's a 2007.
Yeah. So, well, you know, it's not everybody's cup of tea. I'm sure there's other Fincher fare you prefer more. So
7.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Much better mystery.
Okay.
I know this. Like, there's not much that they can do about not actually finding the guy in real life. So you're making a movie that doesn't really have an ending.
I'll make a new ending where it turns out you're the Zodiac killer.
Sure. That would be fascinating. Like, how did this guy, who wasn't even born around then, commit these murders?
It's your embryo ghost. Or your fetus ghost.
Right, we're 52 minutes. What have you been watching?
Okay, so watched a couple things. Watched a lot of documentaries this week. One was called Walt and El Grupo. And I mean, the documentaries are going to be flying by, bud. Walt and El Grupo is basically the story of Walt Disney and how he, in order to get away from a animator strike, went on a mission for the War Department during World War II to South America for a goodwill tour. And more or less, it's the story of how you get Saludos Amigos and the Three Caballeros. It's interesting. It's more of an anecdotal thing. Like, it's just like, this happened, the end. You know, we all know that Disney went on to make Disneyland and then had his head frozen. It's okay. On the Disney front, I also saw The Hand Behind the Mouse, the Ub Iwerks story. And that was actually fascinating, because I knew more or less the Ub Iwerks element into Disney, but I forgot that he did a lot of visual photo effects work for Alfred Hitchcock and other directors and whatnot before he passed away. In fact, his only Oscar that he got was for The Birds, I believe, for visual effects. So to more or less like see that man at work was interesting. So I got 2 movies from my work for Ryan, because he's trying to do his Disney marathon. Both of them are the package features that he doesn't own because they're not on Blu-ray yet. Melody Time and Make Mine Music. So problem is that they're DVDs. So when you get them from a thrift store, you might want to check them because you don't know if the DVD is scratched up to all hell. So I watched Melody Time first. And it's what it is. It's animated shorts strung together. I mean, the Johnny Appleseed one and the Pecos Bill ones are the best ones. The shorter ones are fun. There's a tone poem in one of them is pretty good, and then but rest of it's pretty standard. Like I say, like Johnny Appleseed one kind of made me cry a little bit because it was just I just forgot how much I loved that one when I was a kid. And it's all sung by Dennis Day, who sang for Jack Benny, so dug it. Make Mine Music, I wasn't the biggest fan of, and I think that was the first time I had ever seen that one as a whole, like for both of these. So Make Mine Music, like the only short that stands out in it is a whale who wants to sing at the Met Opera, and it's all sung by Nelson Eddy, who was a operatic singer at the time, but he was very mainstream, very popular. So animation's good, I would love to see them put it on Blu-ray because I'm sure it would look amazing with some of the other shorts because there's some stuff that is more or less on the level of Fantasia good. So those were good. Ryan will be getting those. They both played through fine. No scratches, no skips, no nothing. So he lucked out because they were pretty cheap to get to. Because like you look online, they're like $20 a pop. So I watched 2 other documentaries. One was called Can We Take a Joke? I think it's called, and it's more or less about internet shaming. In terms of and it was made 2 years ago. And it's got Gilbert Gottfried, Adam Carolla, Lisa Mancinelli, and whatnot. Basically, the comics who don't really like the whole internet shaming phenomenon that's been going on, more or less. Like if you take one step out of line, like you've offended like 1 million people on Twitter and whatnot, and like it's an interesting way to look at how the culture has progressed, and it side by side tells the story of Lenny Bruce. I will say that it's extremely one-sided. Like it for how entertaining it is and interesting it is extremely one-sided, and therefore I can't put it in that realm of a good documentary because ultimately Michael Moore's funny and whatnot, but he's not a really good documentarian. He's more of a satirist. And like you have to like what he's saying in order to be entertained in the first place. Same goes with this documentary. Like if you're a person who doesn't feel that you should be shamed on the internet for making an honest mistake, then you're gonna love this movie. On the flip side of that, though, was Independent Lens put out this documentary called The Last Laugh, and its central theme is very fascinating. It interviews Jewish comedians, Jewish comedy writers, Jewish authors, and Holocaust survivors. And the central theme of the movie is the byline, "Can you make a joke about the Holocaust?" And it's a very touchy subject, obviously. The movie more or less kind of balances out like from the Holocaust to the present, from comedians' perspectives of like where does the line lie on this subject. And there was an argument, like they had a guy from the Anti-Defamation League who has a tragic story that his parents had to give him up in order for him to survive during the Holocaust. Like they had to like give him out to adoption and whatnot. So, or like basically like to get him out of the country. And so he has a very specific view of how humor can play into the Holocaust. Like he talks mainly about Borat and the whole "Throw the Jew Down the Well" song from Borat, which is, I think it's actually from the Ali G show. I don't think it's from Borat the movie, but they play a clip of it in the movie. But he also kind of like he talked about a couple different things that I was like, more or less, we could go both ways on this thing. So like it's a fascinating documentary. It's actually one of the best documentaries I've seen this year because it did come out this year in limited release. And I would highly recommend you check it out. It is extremely heartbreaking by the end, but funny at the same time. Like it's able to balance itself very well. And then the only other thing that I watched this week. Sorry, I'm trying to remember. I don't write my stuff down like you fucking do. No, actually, I think that's all I watched this week. Yeah. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Way to get educated.
Yeah.
I guess that brings us to this week's film.
Yep.
We saw Logan Lucky.
Logan Lucky.
The new film from retired director Steven Soderbergh.
Or as I call him, Steven Soderpop. Nobody else calls him that, obviously.
Way to stick it to him.
Yeah, I know. I love him. Are you kidding? That's an affectionate term.
So, Zach, should people go see Logan Lucky?
Logan Lucky, more like Logan Sucky.
Wow.
No, that's actually far from the truth.
Which blog site did you read that headline from?
No, I'm just Gene Shalit reincarnated, man, and he's not even dead yet, so go figure. No, that couldn't be further from the truth. I liked the movie a lot. I had been waiting for Soderbergh to come back and do something fun to kind of reinvigorate my interest in him, and this was definitely a good way to kind of kick open the door again, and come in with a bang, a Joe bang, if you will. And I'm full of them today, aren't I? Cast is good, script is solid. I wish we knew who the writer was. And I don't know what camera he shot it on, but I need to do the research because, like, there was something about the production of this film where he was able to kind of work in different lighting conditions than most studio films can, because, like, there was this new camera he was using. So, but it looked amazing. Like, it looked phenomenal. So I recommend you check it out. I understand why not many people are going to go see it this week. Because at the end of the day, it is about good old Southern boys. And, but if you're in the mood for a good comedy hijinks caper, go watch this movie. Brad, should people watch Logan Lucky?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I was so worried that this was going to be like a throttling match.
It is weird, and I don't know if I should save it till after we play the trailer. So why don't we just play the trailer, and I'll continue this thought.
Okay.
Jimmy, I'm just gonna say it. I gotta let you go. You were just fired.
I was let go for liability reasons involving insurance.
The one-armed bartender.
You need to show a little respect. Charlotte Motor Speedway. I know how they move the money.
The only guy who knows anything about blowing up real bank vaults is Joe Bang.
I am incarcerated.
Yeah, we got a plan to get you out.
Coca-Cola 600 is the biggest race of the year.
We need a computer whiz.
I know everything there is to know about computers, okay? All the Twitters, I know them.
Welcome to the Coca-Cola 600.
Now, how many yards away is the vault?
20 yards. I don't know, maybe 30.
Is it 20 or is it 30? We are dealing with science here.
They're gonna know what we want them to know.
My life of crime is over.
That is massively stupid.
It's been handled.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
That looks like it hurt.
I want everything on Jimmy Logan.
I'm about to get naked. So no bacon. I said no bacon.
You Logans mustn't be as simple-minded as people say.
People say that.
Would you give me my arm, please?
Is it this one?
So, the only thing, like, it's tons of fun. The cast is great. The story is like I like how it unravels. Like it's not exposition and like you don't see things coming. But it's a weird, unsettling, like unconventional feeling to watch everything go smoothly in a heist movie.
Yeah,
almost like, but
almost.
there's nothing that completely, like there's a couple things that they don't expect, but they quickly get over it,
right,
or get through it. So it's by the end of the movie, I'm sitting there going like, okay, when's this going to turn on them? And that never happens, and that's weird.
So
not wrong, just weird.
I have a theory on that, actually. So, as we all know, Steven Soderbergh did Ocean's 11, 12, and 13.
Sorry, and they even set up like this family's cursed, so they're accustomed to things going bad, and so it's almost like a red herring that he's like he knows the ending isn't going to be satisfying.
Oh yeah,
enough.
Yeah.
So he sets it up so that you're always waiting for it, but it never comes.
Right. It is. Well, it's totally a red herring. Like it's not like a. It's not a. By the time you walk out of the movie, you're like, well, they were kind of fooling me a little bit here. But like I said, Soderbergh did Ocean's. I'm going to stick to Ocean's 11 specifically on this because there's a lot of parallels you can make, and obviously the internet has made them. They've also been clear to point out how it's very different from that. I mean, one of the biggest differences is that, as you pointed out, things go rather smoothly in this movie. Whereas in Ocean's 11, there are more or less actual stakes. Interferences with the plot. But the more I thought about it, Ocean's 11 kind of goes pretty smoothly too. Because a lot of things that were set up as like hindrances or interferences are actually things that were planned from the get-go. Whether it's George Clooney getting beat up by that guy in that closet, it just turns out to be an act anyway. And more or less he plans to get caught. So in Logan Lucky, the basic plot of the film is that a guy Channing Tatum gets laid off from his job, and his brother is a one-armed vet who works in a bar.
One-handed vet.
One-handed vet. Yeah, sorry, not one-armed because, guys, he's still got part of his arm left. So, laid off from his job, brother's working in a bar. They both get disrespected by Seth MacFarlane and a weird Burt Reynolds mustache and a British accent. Don't know what that character was about, but I totally went along with it.
And then Channing Tatum's ex-wife is going to move across state lines, thus negating his ability to see his daughter.
Yeah, so Tatum was working construction in a tunnelway underneath a speedway.
Charlotte Speedway.
So he devises a plan because he knows how the money is transported to rob the money from the vault. So in order to do this, they have to hire the assistance of career criminal Joe Bang, played by the amazing Daniel Craig. Holy shit, I don't want him to play Bond anymore. Fuck Bond. Bond's stupid. I want to see Joe Bang movies all day.
Just a Joe Bang franchise.
I will totally see that. Like, you know how like people like Ryan love The Rock and Statham only in the Furious movies? I liked Joe Bang that much where I want to see like 5 Joe Bang movies, like Joe Bang MCU, man. Bring him into the MCU. Bring him into Avengers Infinity War. So they go through the heist. Everything's going as planned. They get the money. There's a couple of hindrances, which I think are more or less emotionally derived. And I'll get to one of them specifically in a minute, but to move it along, when all's said and done, it looks like Tatum just leaves the money in the garbage bags in his truck outside of a gas station to be found. And that's when Hilary Swank comes in as an FBI investigator. She's really only in the movie for about 15 minutes. She's not established at all.
Not even that, maybe 5.
Yeah, maybe.
She has like 3 scenes.
Yeah. So the investigation, like it's assumed that like Tatum has this weird turn of heart of finding out what's more important, spending time with his daughter or like working to support his daughter to be able to see her. Like it's a weird, like it's about priorities, I guess, is like making the time or whatever. Cause like him coming to her talent pageant is very important, for the emotional arc of that character. But so more or less it seems like he gave up on the money. But then when you realize is that, in a key scene with Hilary Swank, the motorway does not really know, because it was all cash transactions, how much was actually stolen from the heist. And they are more or less dropping the investigation because they got the insurance bailed them out, just like Ocean's 11 with the insurance company pays you back. So the reveal is that things you thought would set up something going wrong end up kind of correcting themselves, more or less, thanks to things that were placed at the beginning of the film, such as where Joe Bang knows where to dig up the money at the end, because that was a setup from the first interaction he has with Tatum.
He's only in the whole heist because he thought he had a nest egg.
Yeah, and the
nest got stolen from him,
and he
from
put
that
it,
spot.
Yeah, and so the more or less where there could be a confrontation, I don't know if it's setting up a sequel or not, or if it's just like Ocean's 11 where you see Clooney and Roberts walk off or drive off, but then you see two of Terry Benedict's people in a car following them down the road. So there's a hint that there's no escaping what he's done. And so Hilary Swank ends up in the bar. That's
my next biggest question. Is I couldn't tell if she was going undercover to try and capture them, or if she was just another, like, just coincidentally, because everyone else at the bar at the end has like a significant other to like latch onto, except for Kylo Ren. And like I kept trying to think back, like, did Hilary Swank, because she had a sport coat on in all her previous scenes, so you could never really tell if she was missing an arm. So I don't know if they were just trying to like give him someone like at the end, but then there's that shot of
I don't think that's it at all.
Is she like pretending to have like a missing arm?
I think she's
to get to them.
I don't know exactly how it's supposed to play out, but my guess is, like I was alluding to with the Ocean's 11 comparison, is that it's going one of two ways. Is that it's ending itself in an ambiguous way where either A, we're getting Logan Lucky 2, which would be great, or B, we are left to assume that shit might go down. We don't know if it's going to go down, but that's not the point of this story at this moment right now.
And then what's with the shot of Kylo Ren's original hand, like with the beer glass, like on that one table?
I thought it...
what does that mean?
I kind of equate it to visually it looks stunning, but I would want to watch the movie again and listen a little bit more to the dialogue too, because I was caught when I watch movies that Soderbergh does in that vein. I get caught up in the whole air of it, and I don't always study each thing individually. So I definitely have to watch the movie again to kind of grasp certain visual imagery. Like my initial thing on it was what's his overarching theme here, and not less the specifics. And the overarching theme of this film is, I once did a movie about slick criminals in really nice dress suits. Now I'm going to, as the poster says, show you how the other half steals.
Yeah.
Because it is a Southern fried movie, man. Like, this is a shit ton of, like...
That's what I got. It was two things. It seemed like an indictment of Southern culture. Like, not that it's, like, bad, but just, like, here's, like, a Hollywood insider's view of what the South is like.
I think you're on the right track, but you're gonna have to switch into a different track lane in a second, because Soderbergh's a lot smarter than some people give him credit for. And, like, I mean, he's already a genius on one front, but he's from Tennessee. He's from the South. So he's not immune to...
So he's done his research.
He knows what this is.
Yeah.
So my guess is that...
So it's more like a send-up of
It's a send-up of what he supposes, Hollywood supposes the South is.
Yeah.
Like, it's like... there's a couple layers here. And it just, I think he understands how to broach this subject without seeming insulting. Because I don't think this film is insulting to Southern people at all. I really don't.
But it does portray a lot of cliches.
It does, but I think it handles them in a way that's more mature than Larry the Cable Guy fucking, like, pulling up his pants after he shows his rear end. You know, like,
yeah.
I think it's a lot more... respect it, like I equated it to a Coen brother movie in a way, because like the speech pattern is smarter than like two hicks at a bar going, "I hate Obama," like it's fucking like, it's straight up like normal people conversations. Like there's just a twang to it. And in a lot of ways, like it reminded me of Smokey and the Bandit. The original was set with, or the original one from 76, or 77, where you get people who are pretty much just people. Like it's just the way they live. I do believe though that part of that Southern twang is why a lot of people avoided it at the movies this weekend. Because, as I said earlier, the world set itself on fire the week before. I think we all kind of wanted to just go see Ryan Reynolds and Samuel Jackson shoot things.
Yeah.
Because this film isn't ashamed to be Southern. I will say that, as brilliant as it is. It is not ashamed to glorify NASCAR and America.
And then the other thing I got from it was like, it seemed like the whole movie was just trying to be that Channing Tatum, isn't a loser. Because this is a pretty brilliant plan, and like it's set up in very specific ways that, it's almost like they thought, whoever wrote it, like, okay, if I had to rob a speedway, and with all the information I know about how the inner workings, like, because there's very far-fetched, like, the fact that two of the heist people are already incarcerated, like, it's such a specific, once-in-a-lifetime, like, scenario. So, the fact that Channing Tatum, like, goes through with it, has little adversity thrust at him after he gets fired, or let go. It seems like the whole point of the movie is just to show, like, yeah, this guy's not, like, yeah, he screwed up some kind of plan early on in his childhood, and that's why his brother's, like, skeptical about, like, even doing this. But he made up for it, and it seemed like it was really easy to do. And that's, like, the point, which is, like, okay, that's good, I guess.
I feel like, and Soderbergh's always been good about this, for the most part, is that he so, like, you know how Tarantino is very good at good at sending love to the 70s? I think Soderbergh's the only one who actually knows how to make a 70s movie to a degree. Because the way the script is structured and the way the events play out, like, it doesn't have to delve into a shit ton of backstory. Like, and I'm glad, because I don't want to be dumped with a big exposition dump without it having a purpose. And he sparses it out very cleverly. Or whoever's writing it. Rebecca Blunt is the credited writer, but apparently this might not be an actual person. So this could have just been Steven Soderbergh writing under a woman's name. We don't know. But we know he shot the film because Pete Andrews shot the film, and Pete Andrews is Soderbergh. So it's just one big illusion, guys. He's pulling a curtain that you can clearly see through because he's awesome. But so I liked that element of it, but I understand what you're saying. Like, from a modern context, we are so used to kind of being more or less spoon-fed our motivations that we don't, like, when we see something that doesn't, like, necessarily explain itself off the top, we get confused. So, like, I kind of more or less, for me, I kind of just let it ride for what it is.
That's what I'm saying, is this movie's kind of like, you're just along for the ride.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
there's nothing to, like,
I mean, like, I don't need another origin story, quote unquote, is my more or less take from it. But I see, like, how it does feel strange, because, it's like in a Marx Brothers movie, like, you don't know where the fuck each of Groucho's characters actually come from. Like, you can't really believe that Rufus T. Firefly is actually a doctor, is actually a decent person. No, but you just kind of go along with it,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, the movie's awesome. I would definitely check it out. I'd love if people checked it out in a theater, because the whole model for the distribution is basically what Kevin tried to do with Red State before he got up on stage with his hockey stick, is to cover all the foreign and domestic sales, and get the movie in the black. Like, pay the budget back. Get all your investors their money back immediately so that everything else you're getting is profit. But it's only made $8 million at the box office thus far, and it's his second lowest opening, only beaten by Solaris. So I don't know what the future of Logan Lucky is going to be, or Freestyle Releasing, which is essentially his new company. So we'll see. I'd like to see Steven Soderbergh be successful with this venture because it could open up doors for a lot of people. So, but you know, we'll see what happens, man.
All right, so next week, I don't know
so
what we're going to do.
So I checked the schedule. There's two options. We either all bite the bullet and see Wind River, which I'm totally down for, or it's Film Explosion time.
A Film Explosion 2 weeks after we already did one.
I'm just saying, like, you know, I mean, hey, Wind River's from the writer of Sicario.
We could do Brigsby Bear, because that's going to be out in a limited release.
It is? Or I thought it was just a one screening thing at Sloan's. Are they doing an actual run?
Well, I mean, if we... Like, it's at the Esquire, so...
Shoot, I didn't even know.
Yeah, you can either go see it... I mean, it seems like it's going to be... Like, it's. I said it opens on Thursday, but, you know, they don't have Friday out yet, so it might go through Friday.
Well, I mean, we'll have to discuss it with the other people, the other three, because we're just two people, Brad. We can't change the world on our own.
Not with that attitude.
Fuck you, I'm a pessimist.
Yeah, August 25th. Yeah, All Saints, Birth of the Dragon.
The
Bruce Lee movie.
I've heard apparently Bruce Lee's estate is condemning the movie, so I'm kind of like,
I can't believe there's a movie
really
called
interested.
9/11, which I've never seen a trailer or poster for, coming out on
with
September
Charlie
8th.
Sheen and Whoopi Goldberg.
But that's also It, so I think everyone's going to go see It.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure we're all going to It. Even James will be going to It.
I'm not excited about it. I might skip that week.
Don't do that. You'll float too, Brad. You'll float too.
Already old. September 1st, also, I don't know, like 2 back-to-back 2 weeks of Film Explosion, so we should probably see something new next week. So I'm going to go with Brigsby Bear.
Okay.
Unless we get vetoed.
Okay. I'm down for Wind River because, again, Sicario guy.
It's a Denis Villeneuve?
No, but the guy who wrote Sicario and wrote Hell or High Water, it's his directorial debut, and it's with Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen. And it's a murder mystery in the snow, so you'll see a lot of red on white.
Cool.
Which will satiate you until the Snowman movie comes out. Which, have you seen the poster for that?
What?
It's like the Snowman Murders or something like that. I'll send you a link to it, but it's like one of those girl on a train mystery things, but the trailer looks more or less like a fucking David Fincher movie.
But instead of Emily Blunt, it's a snowman.
No, there is actually a scene in the trailer where you see a person's been decapitated, and instead of their head, it's a snowman's head on top of them. So I'm like, fuck, I'm there. All right, cool. Well,
yeah.
Until next week,
Next week. Thanks for listening to Real Nerds Podcast.
Yep, bye. Really? Not even...
Real Nerds Podcast is a Nebulous Visions multimedia production. The Real Nerds would like to thank the Alamo Draft House in Littleton, and now open in Sloan's Lake. We also would like to thank Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics, especially Andrew. Our music has been brought to you by Sparks Mandrill and Plan 9 Studios. And, of course, thanks to James's mother, our most loyal listener. Have a nice day.